Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today the Houston Rockets have announced their 2025-26 schedule. As you know, the Houston Rockets, things are going to be a lot different next year compared to the last couple seasons. I think the last couple seasons we've seen the Rockets take a big jump. You know, they go from being last in the Western Conference to 41-41, and then last year being a top 2 seed in the Western Conference, and made it to the playoffs the first time since James Harden left Houston. I thought last year was obviously a great year as well. But the thing I will say for this Rockets team, I think it's going to be a lot different next year, is the fact that they're going to be getting a lot of more coverage from the media. When I say media, I'm talking about national media. I feel like that's something the Rockets maybe didn't deserve in the first season under Ime Udoka when they went 41-41 because they had to prove themselves. I felt like last year, yes, the Rockets did get a solid amount of national televised games. I felt like there were some here and there games where, there were some flex games the Rockets had late in the season getting flexed into national TV. But ultimately, I don't feel like the Rockets had enough national televised games last year. And I think now, too, adding in the Kevin Durant trade in the season they had last year, they are now going to get that, they're going to get noticed now. And they're getting 28 nationally televised games. And honestly, it can be more than that. It definitely could be more than that because the Rockets could go to the in-season tournament playoffs because this is only 28 of 80 games. There are 2 games that we don't know that will be announced. That could be another 2 games that could be on national TV. Because let's remember last year, the Rockets did go to the in-season tournament playoffs. They played the Warriors and they played the Thunder. So, but that's something to think about. And also, I think later in the season, you do see some flex changes. I think the Rockets had that a little bit last year. They had it. They've had that in the last couple of years where, late in the season, NBA starts to make some flex changes. The Rockets could take advantage of that. We will see. But yeah. All right, let's go over what the schedule looks like. The Rockets, we knew this beforehand because this was announced a long time ago before the full schedule came out. The Rockets will play the Thunder opening night, and they'll play the Lakers on Christmas. Those are the 2 big ones that were announced first, and then we saw others get announced after it. But the first game for the Rockets is in OKC on NBC, NBA's first game back on NBC, which is October 21st. Also, the Rockets then will have a couple days off. So I think it should be interesting to see the Rockets not playing on that opening Wednesday because usually the Rockets are playing on that opening Wednesday. Even the last time the Rockets played opening night, they had a back-to-back. Like the 17-18 season, the Rockets was the last time they played opening night like they are now. But the next night, I remember the Rockets had a back-to-back against the Sacramento Kings, in playing both Tuesday and Wednesday. So I can't remember the last time the Rockets had a opening week where they had the Wednesday off. I wasn't even watching basketball yet. And I started watching basketball in the 2016-17 season. And so that's kind of crazy. It's gonna kind of feel weird to see the Rockets not playing on the opening Wednesday, the start of the season. So, yeah. But then you've got the Detroit Pistons on a Friday as the Rockets' home opener. That should be fun to see Ausar Thompson and Amen Thompson go at it. This is something I don't really understand. Like, how is this not a nationally televised game? Honestly, on that 24th, I don't know what games are nationally televised in that slot. I don't know what the NBA has that is not. That's not in. That is in the national TV slate. But Ausar Thompson versus Amen Thompson. And you've got Cade Cunningham, Kevin Durant. You've got these 2 young rising teams who have turned in from bottom of their conferences to the top and up and coming. I don't know how you don't put that as a nationally televised game. But then you've got the Brooklyn Nets. This is a 2-game homestand. You got the Brooklyn Nets on October 27th and back on the road to face the Raptors. That's the last game of the month of October. The Rockets do not play on Halloween. They get 2 days off on the 30th and 31st. Only 4 games in October. The Rockets then play another road game on the 1st of November playing the Boston Celtics. Should be an easier matchup than the Rockets had last year when they fought very hard to beat Boston in Boston. then back at home against the Dallas Mavericks, and then a 3-game road trip, which is the longest road trip. Be at Memphis on Wednesday the 5th, then the 7th on Prime Video, which will be the Rockets' first in-season tournament game and their second nationally televised game. Then the Rockets will have what I think is, their first Sunday game of the season will be played on November 9th at 2:30. Then they'll have a couple days off, then have their biggest homestand at this point, which they will play the Washington Wizards on the 12th of November. Then the Blazers, which is another in-season tournament game. They'll play the Blazers at 7 o'clock at home, and then a day off, then Sunday at 6 o'clock against the Orlando Magic. Then they'll have 2 days off and face the Cleveland Cavaliers on November 19th, and that will be in Cleveland. And one thing I'm going to stop right here. The Rockets at this point still have not had a back-to-back. I think that's kind of crazy. Then they'll have the Denver Nuggets, three straight national televised games for the Houston Rockets. Denver Nuggets on Prime Video. That is the 21st. Then on the 24th, they've got the Phoenix Suns, where Jalen Green and Kevin Durant and Dylan Brooks will all face their former teams. And then you've got the Warriors on ESPN on the 26th. That Warriors game is the final in-season tournament game for the Rockets. The Rockets then, December 1st, their first game of December, will play Utah Jazz in Utah. Then the Sacramento Kings at home on the 3rd. And this is where I think it's just kind of crazy. Like, you've got the Phoenix Suns at home on the 5th, and then on the 6th, the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas. Like, that is unbelievable that you're... And it could change because there are going to be 2 games that are added to the schedule in that time where you're, dealing with the, in-season tournament. But, there should be, that shouldn't be a back-to-back for the Rockets. Their first back-to-back is December 5th and December 6th. Just well over a month, really a month and a half into the season, and you don't have any back-to-backs. I think that is great. Great for the team. There might be more down the stretch, but I still think that's amazing. Then we don't know the 2 games the Rockets will play from the mix of the 6th to the 18th, because they'll play 2 games through that span. They'll play the Pelicans on the 18th. There are 2 games through the 6th and the 18th that the Rockets will play. We don't know those yet. But the 18th... they'll play the Pelicans in New Orleans. This is a 5-game road trip. Then their longest road trip of the year. They'll go to Denver on a Saturday game. Then they've got the Kings on the 21st on Sunday. That's another back-to-back. That's the second one. Then you've got 2 back-to-back national televised games. Tuesday, the 23rd on December. You've got NBC Clippers. Then ABC, you've got Lakers on Christmas. Then you've got the Cavs on the 27th. Pacers on the 29th. For a 2-game homestand. Then January, you've got on the 1st of January, you've got a road game against the Brooklyn Nets. Then another road game against Dallas on Saturday, the 3rd of January. Then you've got Phoenix Suns at home. Jalen Green returns again. And then you've got 2 straight against Portland on the 7th and 9th of January. Then another on the road against the Kings on the 11th of January, Sunday. Then you've got a 5-game homestand, Bulls at home on Tuesday, the January 13th. Then the 15th of January, the Thunder coming to town, Prime Video. Back-to-back where the Rockets are on national TV. You've got the Minnesota Timberwolves on ESPN at 8:30. Then the New Orleans Pelicans on the 18th of January, which is a Sunday at home. That final game of the homestand against the San Antonio Spurs on NBC on the 20th. Then you've got 2-game road trip. You've got 76ers on the 22nd, and then back-to-back. You've got the Pistons on Prime Video. So one of those Pistons games is nationally televised. Then you've got 4 games in the last week of the month of January. Grizzlies at home on the 26th, 28th on ESPN, San Antonio Spurs, 29th against the Atlanta Hawks on the road. And then on ABC Saturday night, last game of the month, is the Dallas Mavericks on the 31st. Then February, this is a shorter month because, number one, February is a shorter month, but also the All-Star break. You got the Pacers on Peacock on Monday the 2nd. Then 2-game home trip against the Celtics and Hornets, both at 7 o'clock at home on Wednesday and Thursday, the 4th and 5th. And 7th on ABC evening game, February 7th, is the Oklahoma City Thunder at 2:30. Then you've got 2 days off before the road trip, then a back-to-back against the Los Angeles Clippers. Both 2 games against the Clippers, and not one of them is nationally televised, both at 7 o'clock on February 10th and 11th. Then you've got the All-Star break. Rockets come back from the All-Star break on the 19th in Charlotte. Then in New York, Saturday night, Kevin Durant in Madison Square Garden on ABC. Then Peacock, Utah Jazz. Definitely wasn't expecting the Utah Jazz to be a nationally televised game for the Rockets, but that's Monday, Peacock, Jazz at Rockets. Then Rockets have the game against the Kings in Houston, then back-to-back in Orlando on Prime Video for the Rockets, then Prime Video on Sunday against the Miami Heat, and then opening up March, the Rockets are in Washington on the 2nd, then the 5th, the Rockets have the Golden State Warriors on Prime Video, then the Portland Trailblazers on a back-to-back at home on the 6th, then the 8th, another national I think all the Rockets Spurs games are on national television. NBC Sunday Night Basketball. You've got the Spurs and Rockets. And then Raptors at home. Nuggets on the road on Wednesday the 11th on ESPN. Pelicans at home on the Friday the 13th. And then 2 games against the Lakers at home on the 16th and 18th, both nationally televised, Peacock and ESPN. 20th and 21st is a back-to-back at home against the Hawks and Heat, and that ends a 5-game homestand. But then you go on 4 games for the road. Only one of those is nationally televised. Bulls on the 23rd of March. 25th on ESPN is the Timberwolves. 27th is the Grizzlies. And 29th is the Pelicans. And then 31st, last game of the month, is Rockets hosting the Knicks on NBC. Then April, only a couple games in April. You've got the hosting the Bucks. I don't know. I just don't understand this. I know that maybe the NBA is doing this because they're not sure if Giannis is going to be staying in Milwaukee. But you've got Giannis Antetokounmpo versus Kevin Durant potentially. 2 matchups. Neither one of them are on nationally television. If Giannis stays in Milwaukee, those are games that I feel like should be on national TV. The Bucks are coming into town on April 1st, and the Jazz are coming into town on April 3rd, Friday. Then the Rockets travel to Golden State for an NBC game, and then Suns for an NBC game. That is, the Warriors game is Sunday night basketball, then Tuesday night basketball on NBC, and then the 3-game homestand to end the season, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Memphis. That is what the Rockets schedule looks like. I love it, a lot of national television going over it. The Rockets are going to have, they're going to be one of the teams that is, in the spotlight, and that's what happens when you trade for Kevin Durant. Honestly, the Rockets, I felt like, had a good team last year, such a good team that they would probably be able to get more nationally televised games than they did last year if they didn't trade for Kevin Durant. But honestly, I think it probably would have been around 15 to 20 nationally televised games the Rockets would get next year if they didn't trade for Kevin Durant. Maybe less than that. So I think that's how big of an impact the Kevin Durant trade does with the Rockets on being on the national television spotlight. So let me know your thoughts on the Rockets being in the national television spotlight so much and this entire schedule. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.